Oh, there it is. It's oh, I wrote it down. 03, I think it is. Ford Explorer 8.8 rear. 373 posi. There's an extra short axle, so we're going to cut down one tube and use the new short axle. The brakes came off a different rear car that was actually driven in there, so I know the caliber's good if I want to use them or exchange them in. These are trash. I'm not even worried about them. The going price for these things are between $10 and $15 a piece. I'm not even worried about that stuff. So we're going to take, I think it's the driver's side tube, that's what it looks like to me, and we're going to shorten it almost 3 inches is what we're going to do, and then slip that axle in. So I chose the Explorer axle for a couple of reasons. Like I said before, one, tube is beefier, 3 1/4. Never going to bend that. And when you guys think bend, you think of loading them. They actually bend forward in a race application, and the rear becomes like a sideways U, and then the car doesn't launch straight. 31 spline axles. Earlier Mustangs at 28. It wasn't until later on they went to 31, so right off the bat you got the bigger axle. This one's a posi, this one's a 373. I had a choice of a 355, 373, and a 410. I chose this one. This is the gear ratio we want. We popped off the original cover and we grabbed an aluminum cover for it, so Junior can clean and polish that up. It'll look nice. I told Junior the first thing we'll do is throw just 2 tires on it so we can wheel it around. And we'll start taking off the junk I don't need, which is basically going to be the purchase. Whatever these brackets are here on a Ford, I'm not sure. Stabilizer bar brackets. Be nice to put a stabilizer bar in this car. So as you can see, the car is going to land with 4-wheel disc. So you're going to see how to convert a car with drum to disc in the rear and still use the same master cylinder. And that's about it. Well, at least on that, you can see that ABS. None of that stuff means anything to us. The inside is absolutely mint. They opened it up for me. We looked around. The gear oil was like a normal bluish color. I have the tags, like I said, off it. What was I going to say? I've seen them shortened in multiple ways where they actually drill out the spot welds, warm this, press this out, shorten it, and put it back in, and redo the spot welds. We just do it the traditional way. You pick your spot and you hack out the amount you want, shake it back up and weld it, which is probably what we're gonna do. After a lot of measurements, I'm gonna find out where my new purchases are gonna go. We're using these, just so you know, brand new purchase through like Curry Enterprises for less than 20 bucks. So you're better off hacking these off roughly and then smoothing out your rear than trying to save these and forget it. That doesn't even pay. But we're going to find out where the cut's going to be. I'm going to put the cut dead center to my perch. Okay, all the load when you accelerate is from the perch in, because that's where it wants to twist. It's not out here. Okay, it's from the spring in. But you also have the load of the weight of the car. So I'm figuring it this way. If I do my cut, do my champ, and do my weld, I'll have a gusset on this side and this side. So I'll split the difference on where I do it, but it should be plenty strong enough. A lot of people will cut these ends off and put 9-inch ends on there and go to C-clip eliminator, but we're not going to be breaking these axles for the application we're going to be dealing with here. If you're going to go all out, yes, it's the way to go. I have a friend that runs in the 7s on one of these rears, so they're pretty stout. And the other thing is that I didn't mention, the pinion is offset on these, so when you do shorten the axle, it puts the pinion almost dead center, the way it should be. So if you put this in the car now, the pinion would be offset almost 3 inches to one side, plus it would be too wide for your vehicle. So with that said, this stuff will probably go in there for mock-up. As well as that, I got the bolts to hold them on. I obviously didn't get parking brake cables, but that's the least of my worries. And we're just going to decide what we're going to do with the backing plates and tins and all that junk as we go along, because we want to neaten it up the best we can, make it look nice under there. This is actually a very clean one. I looked at ones that were so rusty you couldn't identify the covers. So this is actually pretty good considering they don't paint the center section. And it's, you know, in a four-wheel drive vehicle. So, and this is the other calibers they actually supplied me, which I'll wind up changing, but they're all good for mock-up. I got that block right there, just here. I got the hose up to the car, hose to the caliber, then the hose to the hard line. Obviously they build new hard lines on this thing. And that's it. I think we did pretty good. And like I said, the place was very friendly. Very friendly. For what they were originally getting for this, when I asked him if he had one of these axles, he said he'd just throw it in. I go, that's pretty good. I've seen them as much as like $45 for a used one. So, and that's if they have them. They won't pull them out of a unit most places, because then that just destroys the rear. So this is the same bolt pattern that we have. It's 5 on 4.5 with a 1/2 inch stud. That's exactly what his car has now. So that helps out a lot. And that's it. There are some tricks you can do inside to make the posi unit bite a little harder and do things like that. But we'll see as we go along. You can change that S spring, which is in the center, that puts the preload on the packs. There are updated clutches you can put in there. All easy stuff. But I might just do the spring and call it good. And that's it, guys. Next video on this will obviously be out, and I'll be directing Junior on what to hack off it to start cleaning this thing up.